to everyone. We have been going to discover yourself. You could discover many things in this world, but this is something very crucial. And we have covered two topics till now. First topic was entitled, Can a Scientist Believe in God? Wherein we discussed how we can, based on logic and reasoning, establish existence of God. So we saw science and spirituality, where they essentially always are hand in hand with each other, and where they differ, and how they are comrades on their journey of self-discovery, or finding out the ultimate cause of everything, and offering solutions to the problems of mankind. So that's the common goal both have. We also studied theistic theories and atheistic theories in that class, and established that we should become spiritual scientists, which means that we are not one-sided. We don't surrender our intelligence, but we surrender with intelligence to the personality or the existence of God. That was first topic. Then we had last time the second topic, getting the eyes to see God. In that, we had discussion about 3 ways of gaining knowledge. What are they? Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Pratyaksha means through senses. Anumana means through guesswork, speculation in the mind. And Shabda means by hearing from a bona fide authority. There are 3 ways of gaining knowledge in this world. Through senses, direct perception, through mind, speculation, or through revelation from an authority who has seen the truth, who reveals it to us. For example, when our mother says that you should wear this chappal in this leg and that in that one, that's Shabda Praman, and eventually you get a Pratyaksha Anubhav of that it should be like that. But if in the beginning we say, no, I don't agree, then you will ultimately come to the same conclusion that she gave by wearing it wrong way and doing it the right way later on. For example, don't use fertilizers which are chemical and artificial to cultivate crops. Use natural fertilizers. That's what Vedas recommend. But modern man, after having done quite a bit of destruction of land mass in terms of fertility, has come to the same conclusion: organic food is best. But now we have made it more costly. So it's like that. So just to give an example, either through Pratyaksha or through Anumana or Shabda we can get knowledge. But it is safe to get knowledge through Shabda. Not in spiritual life. Even in ordinary day-to-day life. Whether it is relating to our how to take care of family, or how to raise children, or how to learn karate, or how to learn tabla. What do? We go by Pratyaksha, we figure it out ourselves? Do we speculate about it? What do? We go to an authority in the field and we learn from them. Is that clear? So this is called Shabda. So we have studied these 3 ways of gaining knowledge, and we saw 4 defects in human beings and their relationship with these 3 ways of gaining knowledge. What are the 4 defects all human beings have that we studied? Imperfect senses. We all have imperfect senses. Which means our senses have a limitation, they have a range, and also they cannot capture complete truth every time. So they are imperfect. Eyes have 20 to 20 kilohertz. Ears have 20 to 20 kilohertz. Eyes have 0.3 to 0.7 angstrom units. That's all. That's the range of her capturing the reality. So that's called imperfect senses. Then next is, what's the next defect? No, that's later. Getting illusioned. We all get illusioned at some point of time or other in our life, and we mistakenly think truth to be untruth and untruth to be truth. That's tendency to get illusioned. Err is human, as we say. So, many examples. We sometimes think a rope lying in the dark to be snake. Or sometimes we have so many preconceived notions about certain things that might happen in future, which may not at all happen. So like that, we have all tendency to get illusioned. And because of that we commit mistakes. So with committing mistakes is another defect in us. Even great thinkers, politicians, it is said once, Newton is such a great scientist, very God-fearing. But at the same time, one time there was a cat mewing and outside his laboratory and wanted to come in. And every time the cat has to come in, that's his wife's cat, I guess, so he has to respectfully deal with it. So it will come and mew. And every time he has to stop his concentrated lab work or whatever he's contemplating and go and open the door for that fellow, and then the king would come in. And he was getting fed up with this business. So what he did, he made a small hole in the bottom so that the cat can come and go whenever it likes. Don't bother my service. Don't bother my work. Later on, the cat had a baby. So when the baby came, he thought, one more hole needed now. So he made another smaller hole on the side of this bigger hole. And it so happened that when the mama came in, the baby came through the same big hole in. And Newton said, how foolish that was from my point, that I have to make another smaller hole like that. That was not needed, right? So can you imagine, we all commit mistakes. Gandhiji was told on his last day when he passed, don't go to that meeting, there is a danger for your life. But whatever reason, still, it is such a loss. But everybody commits mistakes. And such great people also commit mistakes. So what to speak of us? We do commit mistakes. And the fourth defect is cheating propensity. And I gave a simple example of our early days in school where we did our experiments and manipulated data to get results, desired results. We manipulated graphs and whatnot. So that's a cheating propensity. And I gave another example of Piltdown Man fraud. Very classic story in trying to prove Darwin's theory of evolution. The scientists themselves had done a fraud. To give a explanation that we have found a connecting link between man and monkey. So that's an example of cheating. We all have cheating propensity. So these four defects make especially these two defective in offering us absolute knowledge. Is that clear? These four make these two especially ineffective in giving us absolute knowledge, and the only option then that remains is Shabda. Shabda, again I repeat, hearing from bona fide authority. Now this is not to say that everything has to be blindly accepted. It has to be accepted, and then by applying what is being said, you have to come to a pratyaksha praman that this is true. Then it is worth. That's what we are saying. I give an example. Organic farming. So you first do it, and then you get good quality crop with fruits or vegetables that have substance in them, nutrients, and you feel, oh, that works very nice. That's how it works. It is not blind following. It is a reasonable faith. based on reason again. It's faith, but still it's based on reason. It's reasonable faith. And we give so many examples for that. So it is the glory of Pratyaksha and Anuman that sometimes they do match with Shabda. And that is why they are also to be considered valid at that point of time. It works. So this was our last discussion, 3 ways of gaining knowledge. And because these are ways of gaining knowledge about anything, now it especially comes to knowing God, knowing who am I, knowing what is this creation around, and what is the purpose behind it. There is a vast body of knowledge available in the form of Shabda called as Vedas. And we must give some credibility, as much as we give credibility to modern science, as much as we give credibility to media, as much as we give credibility to modern educational system, as much as we give credibility to our own mind, which is hyper in terms of speculation. So much credibility we award to these things. At least equal amount of credibility we should award to Vedas, because they also claim to offer us solutions to the real problems of our life, and especially to point out the origin and the purpose of our life. That's a very important topic. So this is what we studied in the last class. I had not elaborated what Vedas are and how they work. That I'm going to do today. That's the topic. Vedic wisdom, privilege of mankind. That's our third topic for the day. Can I have someone to just rub this off, please? So far is okay? Our one teacher hand is hard. So far so good? So far so good. Oh, this powerful pen. It is like... No. It says whiteboard. I don't know, it became Shabda Praman, you know. Pratyaksha was something different. So, I hope this works. Oh, I'll change. Okay, so today's topic, Vedic wisdom, privilege of mankind. I hope my spelling is correct. P-R-I. Shabda Praman. No argument with you. So, what we will discuss today are essentially 4 topics. They are not very complex. First is difference between human life versus animal life. This in terms of especially inquiry into the absolute. Second, we will study today problems. Real and relative. And solutions. Real and storm game. Third thing we will study today is faith in Vedas. Or is accepting Vedas not blind faith? And the fourth one we will study is what are the Vedas? Is that clear? So let's go one by one. Can you tell me what, according to you, is the difference between a human being and an animal? Yes.
Human beings, we have the intellect to discriminate between right and wrong. Animals, I don't think have.
Okay. We have intelligence to discriminate what is right and wrong. Okay. Any other?
Animals have a set life and we have a choice.
Interesting. Animals have set life. What does that mean?
It's a pattern that they have to follow. And they don't make mistakes and they don't do anything right or they don't do anything wrong. They just do what they are supposed to do.
Okay. Their choice is not so great in life. They have a very set pattern of life. Interesting. Yes.
Quest for spirituality which the animals will be.
Oh,
Yes.
you give the answer. Quest for spirituality. You will never hear a pack of dogs coming and sitting down and talking about what is the purpose of our life. Or why does the creation take place? That you won't get there. Okay, fine. Thank you. Any other? Yes?
Animal life is more instinctive, like the basic instincts, what
Yes.
operates.
Correct. It's more instinctive and human beings can make choices based on certain principles that guide their lives. Nice. So, usually there are commonalities and differences, but we just talked about difference. Sometimes people also say rationality. Human beings are more rational and animals don't have rationality. But we observe in animals that they also have a sense of, like this is dangerous and this is safe. Or this is furthering my familial or whatever community cause, and this doesn't. They have a sense of that also. In fact, they have a sense of whatever, architecture, design, even aesthetics. You have seen? There are sparrows that make nests in a certain way, and I have heard this beaver. Beaver is a land animal that makes its home in the water but stays mostly on land. He has got a 3-story home. Ground floor is hall, and upper floor is kitchen, and upper that is bedroom. And in ground floor he meets his guests, and upper floor he stores his food and eats, and then sleeps on the top floor, inside the water. Very interesting. So they have a certain sense of those things also. They build homes and they raise families and they are attached to their children and they care for them and so many such things. So, and they do have some rationality about it. However, all of that we said is only centered around 4 activities. They are called eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing or defending. All that they do in their life, the ultimate purpose behind it is never higher than these 4 things. Please repeat. Ahara nidra, bhayamaithunam cha, samanyametat, pashubhir naranam, dharmo hitesham, adhiko vishesho, dharmena hina, pashubhi samanaha. Very simple Sanskrit. Ahara, eating, nidra, sleeping, bhaya, fearing or defense, and maithunam, mating. Samanya metat pashubhihi narana. There are 4 common activities in animals and also in human beings. 4 commonalities. But dharmo hitesham adhiko visheshaha. To practice spirituality, adhika vishesha. Special prerogative of the mankind. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. If they do not do that, then they are simply animals. Although may have human body. Very interesting way. This is Mahabharata. This shloka is from Mahabharata. So very powerful. This verse, when I first time heard, I can't tell you the impact that it had on my thought process and my lifestyle. Unbelievable. So sometimes it appears that human beings have developed what we call it as sophistication in these activities. For example, technologically we do them better. Our eating and dogs eating, you can't compare. Dogs eat on some garbage dump, we eat in nice 5-star hotels. Or say dogs mate, in a very in the street, and we may do it in a very, very romantic atmosphere. Or they sleep on roadside or whatever, and we sleep on our Dunlop pillow beds. With nice technology used in warming up the bed by circulating hot air or water inside. And they defend with their claws and teeth. Hare Krishna. They defend with their claws and teeth. And we have all those guns and patriots and nuclear bombs and what not. What technology we have for defense. So it appears that we are superior to them because we have got sophistication. But it is not that the way the scriptures look at it. They look at it from the point of view of purpose. What is your purpose in doing what you are doing? So the purpose remains the same. Whatever human beings are doing in modern times, despite having everything, technology, internet, space launches, whatever, ultimately everything boils down to this, that they want to do these activities in a finer, sophisticated way and extract more pleasure out of them. So in the sense of purpose, not now we are talking sophistication, this does not make human civilization human civilization. You are so far okay? It simply makes us sophisticated, two-legged, technologically equipped animals. Because the purpose remains the same, the consciousness is not taking off higher than what it should. जैसे rocket launch होता है ना, उसका thrust engine अगर enough नहीं है, तो it just comes back in the same realm. So our consciousness is constantly going in the realm of matter, all the time. But it just doesn't raise itself in a higher dimension, ever. And the interesting thing is, nature, which is giving us this facility of human body, has an interesting way of working. Nature gives us human body for only one purpose. And that purpose is called Athato Brahma Jitnyasa. Brahma Jitnyasa means inquiry into the absolute, and Athato means therefore. So the Vedas, the first aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra, Vedanta Sutra is the essence of all Vedas, and the first aphorism, first sutra, is Athato Brahma Jitnyasa. Have you ever taken a book in your hand and the first page, first statement, first word of the book is therefore? Ever? And you ask, what therefore? There should be some clause behind it and you put a, at the end conclusion, therefore. Have you ever begun a book like that? So why do the Vedanta Sutras begin like this? Because who is going to read Vedanta Sutras? Human beings. Cats and dogs are not going to read. So they say, because you have got this human form of life, therefore, let us now inquire into the absolute. What an interesting way to start something. So, as I said, the focus of human life specifically should be on two questions. The ultimate cause of all suffering and solution, permanent solution to all suffering of mankind. And number two, what is the ultimate destination of human life? These two questions in essence are called Brahma Jitnyasa. So those who do these inquiries are considered human beings according to Vedas, and those who do not do these inquiries, although have human body, are considered animalistic in consciousness, because the consciousness is simply revolving around these four activities all the time. If you switch on television, especially in modern times, what is going on all the time on the television? People are so bored with their own eating, sleeping, mating and defending that they switch on television and they watch others do eating, sleeping, mating and defending in different ways. And they think, maybe if life is not so good for me, but at least there are some people who are enjoying life, by the way. Yeah. This is an amazing way of living in illusion, getting illusioned. So therefore, this is not truth. This is not living on the basis of truth. So the point I am making is very simple. That we should inquire into the absolute. And this is a special prerogative. You see birds are chirping early in the morning. What are they inquiring? Everybody is inquiring in this creation for something. They are inquiring, where is my food? Where is my shelter? Where is my mate? And how can I defend myself from getting destroyed? That's all that they talk throughout the day. And this is why human civilization that does not take to spirituality or this jitnyasa eventually goes down to this level in this life itself. And mind you, according to Vedas, the danger is not this much. The nature has a system that by evolutionary process, a soul is awarded a human body after transmigrating through many bodies. And then if one misses this chance of Brahma Jitnyasa, inquiry into the purpose and ultimate goal of life, then for activities of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, for which he is making so many desires, he is awarded back again a suitable animal body. In human body, how much can we eat? But if you get an elephant body or whatever, you get nicely eat. In human body, how much can we sleep? I remember I had a hostel partner, he slept 15 hours. You know, he had three night outs consecutively on the exam day, and when he came back from the exam, he just 15 hours. But we can't sleep more than that. But you know, polar bear, how much does he sleep? 6 months. That's a capacity. Huh? And then mating, how much can we mate? We really get exhausted. But peacocks, pigeons, you know, they can mate 72 times a day and still keep flapping around. And how much can we defend? Of course, we have technology, so that's a different story. But do we have claws and teeth the way the animals have? Can we really defend ourselves when it comes one-on-one? So, the point is, okay, I'll put it this way. Imagine you have a friend. You both studied in the same school in your village, and later on you became a billionaire by stroke of good fortune and your hard work. And that fellow remained a poor farmer, not knowing any sophistication, technology or happiness of city life. So when you went to your village, you gave him a gift. You gave him your own personal Mercedes Benz. You said to him, here boy, enjoy life. And that's for the first time ever in his life. He has seen such a sophisticated machine. Now after 1 year that you came back to your village and you wanted to see what happened to the vehicle, you found that your friend used that vehicle as a tractor in his fields. Hal jot ke piche, he moved it in the fields. And by the year end, Every single part of the vehicle except the horn was making sound. And now it's your turn. What will you do? You'll obviously take back your Mercedes Benz and tell him, भैया तुमको मैं ट्रैक्टर दे देता हूँ लेकिन तुम Mercedes Benz को कृपा करके हल जोतने में मत लगाओ. Right? Similarly, nature is giving us this human form. It's a sophisticated machine given to the soul for Athato Brahma Jidnyasa, a very fine-tuned job. But if a human being uses it in the field of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, in different ways, what will happen to human body eventually? वो उस गाड़ी की तरह हो जाएगा वो, Mercedes की तरह. You have seen people who misuse body like that? And then what happens? Mother Nature, she says, I gave you this human body for such a great purpose. Instead of doing that business, you do animalistic business only all the time. So better get an animal body. Get a tractor. You're getting? So this is the severity of this problem. Of not using human body for its purpose. To its full potential. And that is why it is very important. And one another thing. In the bodies of animals, you don't have to go to school, get a degree, get a job and do all that and then do eating, sleeping, mating. You do it anyhow. That's an interesting story about them. Polar bear doesn't have to worry about, his JEE exam or, peacock doesn't have to worry about, whatever, making a 5 BHK somewhere, something. Just mate. Simple. So it's an interesting thing. The struggle for existence that the human civilization is undergoing so hard should be for the right purpose. What is the right purpose? What is the cause of all suffering and how to give solution to it? And what is the ultimate destination I am supposed to get? And one who can do that, it's an interesting phenomenon in nature again. Nature facilitates those for this purpose. They do not have struggle for their existence in this world. The way animals undergo struggle for existence, those who do this business, Athato Brahma Jidnyasa, nature provides for them facilities for even basic eating, sleeping, mating, defending without much hard work. Because nature is very happy with such persons. Like a mother who facilitates a person's going back to his father. And that is why it's better as an option to become a spiritualist. Not to run away, to avoid hard work, but to actually live for its true, human life for its true potential. Now sometimes, definition of problems in life. If you go at, what's your problem? बोले मेरे को नौकरी नहीं मिल रहा. Another person, what's your problem? मेरे को छोकरी नहीं मिल रहा. And what is your problem? He says मेरे को promotion नहीं मिल रहा, नौकरी मिल गया नहीं. Now these are all relative problems because they are pertaining to you alone. A problem is considered real when it is common for all. Nobody wants it and nobody can avoid it. You get this definition of a real problem? That's a real problem. And now, according to this definition, what are the real problems of our life? They are 4 plus 3. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. And Adhi Atmik, Adhi Daivik. I'll put Daivik later. I'll put Bhautik, Adhi Bhautik, and Adhi Daivik. I'll explain. Birth is a very painful experience. Now we have forgotten, but 9 months staying ulta inside the cavity of the womb of a mother, where whatever she eats falls on your tender skin and causes burns, and there are so many worms biting your tender flesh, and there are so many gastric juices and whatnot, causing so much suffering for the baby. Birth is a painful experience for both the mother and child, but especially for the child, because it's too tender. Then Mrityu is a painful experience. All the people may philosophize whatever they want. They say, I don't fear death. मैं कभी डरता नहीं, मरना तो सबको है, आज नहीं मरेंगे कल मरेंगे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. People may say like that. I tell him, come here, put your hand in the socket. Somewhere. Electricity. No. जान प्यारी है. Ultimately, whatever they may say, nobody likes to die. It's a fact of life. People will do amazing things to save themselves from dying. They don't mind spending any amount of money, if it comes for it, they may even sacrifice their own loved ones, but they'll protect their own life. That is how we love life. So mrityu is a problem because according to Vedas, person who has become materially very attached experiences the pain of 40,000 scorpion bites at the time of leaving his body. That's quite a bit of a pain. 40 kb. 40,000 scorpion bites. Quite a bit of pain because he has to leave all that he lived for. And it's a very painful experience to die. Young people pass stool and urine in the bed, they howl and shout and they tell doctors, please save me, I don't want to go. You know, who was that tyrant dictator recently who passed away? I forget his name. No. African country. Whatever. You know, no. He was passing away, and the last word that he while leaving the body, I don't want to die. Like that he left. I don't want to die. That's what he's shouting. So death is a very painful experience. And then Jara, old age. Everybody has to become old in this world. Everybody likes to click their photographs when they're young and store them somewhere. And later on they got old. They go and look at their chubby cheeks, rosy lips, dimpled chin, whatever they had. So everybody likes to be young and fresh. But nature of this world, it makes you old. Old age is a problem. You can ask old people how much they have difficulty with their body. In the youth, it appears that every part of your body can give you immense pleasure. And the same equation changes in old age. Unlimited pain, every part can give you. And it becomes very painful for a person to have such experience. And Vyadhi. Vyadhi means diseases. There are 40,000 documented diseases, of which 14,000 have cure. Other diseases we only know name and how we suffer in them. And no matter how much progress we make, scientifically or otherwise, can we cure disease per se? One thing we cure, another thing comes in. Every now and then, something or other. So that's the nature of this world, that it causes these 4 problems. Are they common for all? Nobody wants it? Can anybody avoid it? That's called a real problem. Talk about real problems. Don't tell me, India-Pakistan match mein India aa raha hai. That's not a problem. That's not a real problem. That's for a small patch of people. That's a problem. Now, those are relative problems. Now, same with solution also. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't complete this one. I'll go back. Now, there are problems, adhyatmic. Adhyatmic means problems caused by our own body and mind. Our body and mind gives us a lot of problems. How much problem? It is said that mind gives so much problem to people. They go on the verge of committing suicide sometimes. Mental illnesses. Top number disease of modern man. Adhyatmic. Adhi-bhautik. Caused by other living entities around us. There are problems caused by, from bed bugs to viruses to, company boss or, some inimical relatives and friends and politicking, colleagues and neighbors. Adhi-bhautik misery. Caused by other living entities. Or terrorists. Or whatnot. Adhi-bhautik misery. And then adhi-daivika misery caused by natural events. Tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes, typhoons, floods, drought. They are called adhi-daivik. And how much immense suffering happens when they come. And again, those are problems that are real. They're real problems. So in this way, good question now, back again, what is the solution to all this suffering? So the solutions are again stopgap solutions and real solutions. For example, we make scientific advancement and we make hair dye. Is that a solution for old age? You do facelift. You apply, Fair and Lovely. Or you do so many things. Are we addressing the issue? No way. We are simply covering it up. So that is called stopgap solution. So in this way, the problems that we have also should have a substantial solution for them. And that solution cannot be had by material means only. No matter how much we make material advancement, we cannot stop these problems from coming in our life. But Vedas say that if you make spiritual advancement, you can not only transcend these problems, but you can be even less pained, less suffering, even when they come in your life. Because your mentality towards them is very different. There is a saying, in this world, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It's an interesting statement. In this world, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It depends on your attitude, how you take it. So, that's what spirituality will teach us. We'll come talk about that some other time. So the point I'm making, these are real problems and they must have a solution. And that is the purpose of human life. Human life is meant to put an end to all the problems of life for good. And one who does that business is considered human. So that's the point. Now, there are solutions offered by other means, material means. But they again and again fail, or they produce more problems in the course of curing the original problem. But that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about a real solution. Now let us talk about this again at another level. I'll go back to this topic. Is accepting Vedas not blind faith? Okay. Are there any utilities in modern times? I had asked this question last time, which we are all using, but the principles or the applications are given in. There are real life solutions that having. Origin of that solution is in the Vedas. Are there any branches or are there any forums where Vedas are right now being used by all of us? Okay, Vedic maths. How to multiply a 13-digit number by another 13-digit number instantaneously. So wow, quite a bit of science. Any other? Ayurveda, very interesting. A lot can be spoken about this. How it's an amazing thing. When you go to a modern doctor, he generally asks you, "Kai hotay tumhala?" What is happening to you? When you tell him stomach pain, headache, fever, symptoms, then what does he do? He does symptomatic treatment. Right? You go to an Ayurvedic doctor who is a good doctor, not a quack. He checks your nadi and he tells you what is your problem. He reconfirms his symptoms that he has already found. He asks you, your headache, and you have a severe stomach problem, and you are having fever, and you have this, and you have that, and you have to say. Simply by catching your nadi, he can figure out kapha vata pitta dosh imbalances, and he can tell you your symptoms. That's a doctor.
So it's an interesting way to look at things. How much Ayurveda is advanced in terms of curing diseases. That's a simple example. Any other? Yoga. It's an interesting and hot topic of modern times. Yoga and meditation. Arthashastra. Do you know that in Russia it is compulsory to study Kautilya's Arthashastra and Hitopadesh of Vishnu Sharma and Mahabharata to become an administrative of a kingdom or a state? Interesting. They really study. They have to study this to become good administrators. So through that degree, it is being used. Arthashastra, Nyaya Shastra, Samaj Shastra, so many branches of Vedas. Any other utility in modern times? Vastu. Architects have their own. How you should harness the natural elements and their energies to build a home that harmonizes its presence in the nature and doesn't contradict it. It's a system, it's a science. Any other? Music! What a topic! You know this Indian, our typical ragas? It's a field. I'm sorry, I'm a little addicted to that field. Music, especially Vedic, classical music. We can just go on speaking about it. I'll give you a simple example. How a language should be composed. There is English, A, B, C, D. We have their alphabets. Let's talk about Sanskrit. Varnamala. How do you produce sound from your mouth and how it should be put into writing? Just see what science. Say with me out loud. And notice that you are making sound only in your throat. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. So the air is making sound only in the gutturals, they are called. Now your air will make a sound in your palate. Cha, cha, ja, ja, ya. While the tongue is hitting the palate, the air is producing sound there. Cha, cha, ja, ja, ya. Now your tongue will come behind the teeth and hit it from back and make sound. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Now no more tongue, only lips. Pa, pha, ba, bha. Oh, sorry. Tongue in between two teeth, not hitting from behind, but in between two teeth. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. And now no more tongue, only lips. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. This is called phonetics. Science of how you should produce sound and how it should be put into writing. It's not like English. A and then B and then C and D. There are no connection only with each other. Not to criticize English, but the point is science. How to organize everything in a way that harmonizes your presence in this creation. Just a simple example. This is where language begins in Vedas. Now can you call this mythology? Can you call this mythology? You say this is all bogus. Some fellow, sitting in some cave, in Dadiwala, he had no work to do, so he, figured out some Vedas from his fertile brain. It's not like that. Vedas are called apaurushaya. They have no human origin. They come from the breathing of the Supreme Lord Himself. And they are eternally coming in the form of sound, not print and paper. It is only recently, 5,000 years ago, that Vyasadeva compiled all that sound in written form. But earlier, people were such powerful people that they could hear once from their guru and remember everything they have heard. So there was no need to have a recorded form of Vedas anywhere. That was the caliber of civilization. That's why they are called Shrutidhara. Shrutidhara means once you hear, you hold it in your memory. Shrutidhara. Now हमको एक छोटा लास्ट ट्यूसडे को क्या खाया था बताओ लंच में? I can't remember. And after, sometimes even after this class, if I ask, so okay, tell me what was the class? Prabhu, Prasad Khan abhi bahut ho gaya. Don't trouble me. Because our memories have become so poor. I have 80 GB memory. 100. Ashamed of it. That you need a memory storage device external to yourself. This is real memory. People had such memories. And that's why Vedas were never recorded in written form. But when Kali Yuga began 5000 years ago, Vyasadeva saw the future of human civilization that is coming. Manda, Sumanda Matayaha, Manda Bhagya, Upadhrutaha. People in Kali Yuga are always disturbed. They have poor memory, they have short lives, and they are always unfortunate. And that is why he put all these Vedas which are in sound form into written. He compiled the Vedas. Vedas have 1 lakh verses. It's 10 raised to power 10. And they touch upon every single body of human knowledge. There is no field that is not sampled by the Vedas, including even Kama Shastra. How to enjoy sex in a way that you do not destroy yourself and you elevate your consciousness. Kama Shastra is composed by Vatsayan, and he was a brahmachari. Shock of your life. He is such a dispassionate person, such a detached person. He knows people have this real need in their life and are poor fellows. They are addicted by lust and they can't give it up. How can I teach them a science by which they can still elevate themselves? That is his concern. And these are the sages that offer us this Vedic wisdom. And we consider this mythology. Then if you call it mythology, why you use it? That's our question. If it is all bogus, this is like a half-hen logic. Half-hen logic means kya hai? Once there was a person, he got a hen that used to give golden egg. But the front part you have to feed and the back part gives you the golden egg. So he said, isko kharcha hota hai. So he cut the throat. Then what happened? This also went away. So their modern man, what is he doing? The portion of the Vedas that gives him sense enjoyment, he is accepting. And the portion of the Vedas that teaches him about God consciousness, surrender to God, accepting certain principles that purify our consciousness and send us back to spiritual world, cut that. Now that's all mythology. This is called half-hen logic. Ardha kukkuta nyaya in Sanskrit. This is not fair. We will land up in a bigger trouble if we do that. And that is why Vedas are apaurushaya. They have no human origin. And because they have no human origin, they don't have those 4 defects which humans have. No imperfect senses, no getting illusion, no committing mistakes, and no cheating propensity. What is the proof? Vedic aphorisms, year and year after, thousands of years after, they remain the same. They don't change. Unlike our theories. They don't change. That is a standard of truth. Truth means it should not change. It's simple. It's eternal. Shashvat. Not that today I teach you, you are not the body, you are spirit, soul. After 20 years I come and say, sorry. Thoda galti ho gaya hamari research mein. You are body only, you are not soul. You will beat me up. Say, what do you mean? It makes a big difference in how I lead my life based on this knowledge. So that's the point. That Vedas have no human origin. They were not made by some caveman. They were coming in sound form for millenniums in Guru Parampara. But in recent times, 5000 years back, they were compiled in written form by Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is a literary incarnation of God himself. Sahitya Avatar. And these Vedas, which offer such down-to-earth, utility-based guidance and happiness to our human life, also have, this is physical, there is metaphysical science, there is spiritual science given in the Vedas. They also vastly describe the nature of God, the nature of God's kingdom, the nature of His relationship with His devotees in that spiritual world, the nature of Lord's descent in this world. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. And the very basis of human life and these 2 questions. our cause of suffering is that we have quit our home in the spiritual world and have come to this material world. It's like somebody who was a normal citizen has become a criminal and come to a jail. And these miseries are superimposed upon us by our misuse of free will or our disobedience towards God. And they will be mitigated permanently when we accept that I need to go back to Godhead, back to my original situation. And that is ultimate destination of human life. So I was telling you, I'll tell you the answer, but it will come in due course. That was this one. And this is the purpose of the Vedas. This is how Vedas are. Now what are the Vedas? Which all Vedas you know? There are 4. Sama, Ruk, Yajur, Atharva. Vast portion of the Vedas deals with Karma Kand, which means you chant certain mantras in a certain fire sacrifice by which we evoke the presence of authorities that govern certain energies in the creation. They are called Devatas. Varuna for water, Surya for health and heat and light. Like that. And through them we fulfill our material necessities. Vast portion of the Vedas is this only. But a later portion of the Vedas that transcends this section, Karma Kand, is called Jnana Kand, which discusses about philosophical analysis of life, death, matter, spirit, God, evil, all this. Philosophical analysis. That is called as Jnana Kanda. And beyond this Jnana Kanda is Upasana Kanda, which teaches us how to re-establish our lost relationship with God through bhakti, devotional service. So there is Karma Kand, how to fulfill our material necessities. There is Jnana Kand, philosophical search into the inquiry into the absolute truth. And number 3, Upasana Kand, the practice of that philosophy in terms of re-establishing our love, lost love with the Lord. So this is what the Vedas are in essence. They also have 3 particular sections. They are called Sambandha, Abhitheya and Prayojana. Sambandha means who am I, who is God, what is my relationship with Him. That's called Sambandha Jnana. Abhitheya means what should I practice in my life by which I can attain that original relationship, process. And Prayojana, conclusion, is attaining love of God. Sambandha, theory. Abhideya, experiment. Prayojana, conclusion. Theory, experiment, conclusion. So you first accept what the Vedas say, then you put it into practice, and then you get real results. And you reconfirm, yes, what that was being said was correct. This is how the Vedic method of learning works. It's based on Shabda, but it also has Anuman and Pratyaksha involved in it. We don't deny those in our life. And thus, Vedas are like mature father. And Pratyaksha and Anuman are like quarreling children in front of that father. And the Vedic vastness of knowledge and wisdom, the depth of knowledge, is far superior. But the problem is, systematically we are miseducated to go further and further away from this vast body of knowledge. In our schools, in our families, in our communities, there is no encouragement. We will spend 15 years slogging hard to study some mechanical engineering, computer engineering, this engineering, that engineering, which is just a drop of knowledge in the vast ocean of knowledge. But we will not spend 2 full years, or forget 2 full years, 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day in studying who am I, what is this creation, and what is the purpose. That is how modern life has become. And that is why it is great necessity in modern times to re-establish this Vedic culture. And this Vedic culture can be very easily re-established just by doing 4 things. Number 1, if we take a determined effort, that I will daily associate in some way or other with Vedic culture. It could be in the form of association. I will associate with devotees who have the knowledge of Lord. It could be in the form of books. I'll daily read Bhagavad Gita, few pages, and try and comprehend what it says. Number 3, I will practice Upasana Kand. I'll chant the holy names of God. This Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare, oh Krishna, please engage me in your service. That's the meaning of this prayer. So I'll practice this. Contact with spiritual sound vibration. Shabda. Best form of Shabda, the name of the Lord Himself. Because the name and the person are identical. There's no difference in association with Lord Himself. And then finally, I will sanctify my food habits by taking prasadam as often as I can. I offer my food to God and accept. So A, B, C, D, association, books, chanting, diet. That's A, B, C, D of spiritual life. You're happy with this one? A for? B for? Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam specifically. Or maybe Bible for those who practice that culture. B. C for? Chanting. D. Right. So simple. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to go anywhere and do anything drastic. But still you become a member of a Vedic culture. So that's the point. We have come a long way today. I'll conclude. We started with human versus animal. Very simple. Athato Brahma Jitnyasa. If you don't do that, you will apply your ability to inquire in ghastly things. Athato Bhayankara Jitnyasa. That's what human beings are doing in modern times, all the time. Most of the people who browse internet, what are they doing? What are most people doing when they read newspapers? So we talked why human beings should pay attention to this Brahma Jitnyasa. Because that Brahma Jitnyasa helps him to solve the real problems of life by giving them real solutions. That is why we should study Brahma Jitnyasa, the Vedas. And we discussed about problems. These are real problems of our life. Our real problems of life are not, मेरा पेन काम नहीं कर रहा है. That kind of, this is trivial. But we should be careful to solve these problems of life. That's what human life is meant for. Then we said how to get faith in the Vedas. So we began by saying that so many things Vedas are offering. Two things I want to specifically mention. One is predictions given in the Vedas that have come true. For example, there is mention of appearance of Chanakya, Buddha, even next avatar, Kalki, where he will appear, what will he do. Even in Bhavishya Purana, there is mention of Jesus, Muhammad, and others' appearance in the due course of Kali Yuga. So there are many such credentials that Vedas said that Earth is round, which those times scientists don't used to believe. They used to think Earth is flat. It's only after Galileo and others, and they were killed for saying like that. And we have Earth has Saptadvipa, 7 continents. That's said by Vedas. Till Columbus went the other side, nobody knew that the 7th continent exists, America. Or Vedas say embryology, how the baby grows in the womb of the mother from day 1 to last delivery. It's in 3rd canto Srimad Bhagavatam. If you have time, I can show you the whole discussion. Or so many things in the Vedas. We have heard of cloning. Gandhari, she kills the fetus by hitting it because Kunti gave birth first to a child and they will become the king. So she was envious. And what came out was a lump of dead mass. And that was taken by Vyasa, put into many pots, and with some process, all of them became 100 children. Typical example of cloning. Test tube baby. Matka pot baby, whatever it was. Whatever. And the nuclear warfare in the Vedas. You hear of Vimana Shastra in the Vedas. Ravana had a Vimana. Lord Ram came back from. So many such things. In fact, we can go on speaking about science in the Vedas. And then finally we discuss what are the Vedas. Vedas are Ruk, Sam, Atharva, Yajur. They are Karma Kand portion, majority. And there is Jnana Kand portion called Upanishads. And there is Upasana Kand section called the Puranas. So Upanishad mein best hai Bhagavad Gita. Puranas mein best hai Bhagavatam. So these two if you study, you get the best of the Vedas. And we studied how to put these Vedas in practice by having A, B, C, D being practiced, association, books, chanting and diet. So we end here. Vedic wisdom, the special prerogative of mankind. So we wish you all the best for your further study with us. I hope you'll come for the next class. The next class is going to be the science of soul, Atma Tattva. Who am I? Very important. And we will have a lot of churning of this topic. How we are not this body, we are spirit, soul. We survive after death. I'm telling you, this knowledge is not something ordinary. And at the same time, it cannot be taken cheaply. This is something very, very fundamental dealing with our life. So we end here. Any comments or questions? Yes.
Vedas is of India,
No. No.
Sound, it's of what?
It's of universal nature. With means to know. Veda means knowledge.
Why do we have Hindi terms? Why are there Hindu terms?
No. As I told you, Sanskrit is not Hindu language.
Okay.
Sanskrit is Deva Bhasha. It's called language of the universe.
It's universal.
It's a universal language. That's why you see the composition. That's why you see the depth of wisdom and the vastness of wisdom.
But if you are say you are a person who speaks Russian, you're from Russia, you're a Russian origin, and you're exposed to something like this, what would you understand of
Okay.
this?
I got your question. For that we will have to understand what happened to Vedic culture that existed all over the globe at one point of time. According to Vedas, planet Earth is part of Bhuloka, and there are 14 planetary systems in the universe, of which this Bhuloka is very crucial because what you desire and do here decides your destiny for a long duration of time in the Brahmanda as a human being.
On the earth.
On Bhuloka, but specifically on Earth. Of our portion of Bhuloka where we stay on Earth is called Bharatavarsha according to Vedas. That's their geography, the way they describe. And this Bharatavarsha is a specific land for cultivation of spirituality. It's a very rare, great
so
opportunity.
we only transgress in this area,
Yes.
in all our lives.
No. We can do upper planetary systems, the lower planetary systems. In this planet, various species. That also is there. But what I'm talking is, this entire globe, which was at one point of time part of Vedic culture, the universal culture. Veda is not Hindu. It's not sectarian that,
So a person like me would understand something like this if I took a Vedic book to read
Yes.
Vedas?
yes.
I will understand it?
You will understand it with the help of a guru or a teacher.
Oh, otherwise not otherwise.
Because it's in Sanskrit, which is not currently a common language. If it is a common language that you and I understand, then you can understand by reading also.
But then it's not translated into any other language?
It is translated. It is translated in English, so many other languages. So, you can maybe have a book display a little later. And they can have a look at Prabhupada's books. We can arrange.
What you said was very beautiful today. What you said was very beautiful today.
Oh, thank you for your compliment.
We translate particularly into Russian and
Oh, acha. Yes. And the proof is that this Vedic culture is adopted by everybody on the planet. It is not that now, especially. What happened to Vedic culture is very interesting. 5,000 years ago, there was a huge battle. You know the Mahabharata battle? Arjuna and everyone else. All the great leaders, Kshatriyas, the kings, had assembled at one place. And in that battle, only 6 people survived. 64 crore people died. That means the entire administration of the entire planet collapsed.
Okay.
And when that happens, thieves and rogues become prominent. And the whole situation of society becomes very, very uncongenial. The whole situation becomes barbaric, basically. When people do not uphold dharma, spiritual practices, they do not uphold culture, but they degrade. And that was the beginning of Kali Yuga. And because of that degradation, rest of the mass of the earth that became disconnected for the portion is like fire that was blazing everywhere got just small portion to remain alive, burning. That's India. Although the Vedic culture was actually everywhere.
When you say Vedas and Upanishads, what is that two difference?
Upanishads are essence of Vedas,
Essence of Vedas.
and Upanishads essence is called Vedanta Sutra. And there is a natural
And
commentary on.
Upanishads were something that we had in India which Germans took, no? Upanishads.
Yes.
They adopted.
Yes.
So what was that? It was a literature that we had.
Yeah. Earlier it was all in sound form.
Yeah.
It was later on written form by Vyasadeva. Upanishad means, Upa means near, Nishad means to sit and hear. So you have to sit and hear near a guru, then you understand what it is. It's like E is equal to MC square.
Okay.
Now you may look at it this way, that way, you can't make anything out of it. It's the sutra. But some teacher may explain to you that's Einstein's theory, relativity equation, and then it has so much inside it. It's a convergence between matter and energy equation. Wow. So like that. So Upanishads are full of these kind of things.
So they have taken, these Germans have taken only what they could understand. That's
Yes, they only took what was favorable for their
yeah,
cause.
that swastik thing, what they
Correct.
It was very, very poor imitation of Vedas, and they didn't catch the essence at all. They were very much warmongering, so to say. They only took those portions. Actually, Hitler sent his men to India to study Vedas, to get Dhanur Veda and other things translated, to produce better quality weapons. That's all. There's no higher purpose than defense. Animalistic. And Vedas are so amazing, they are persons. So how they reveal themselves to you depends on your approach towards them. There are two criteria they demand from us. Number one, faith, and number two, purity. The more you increase your faith in the Vedas, and the more you increase your purity of practice, that much Vedas become revealed to you in your own heart. They are not some kind of bookish knowledge. As I said, they're revelations, divine revelations. And in that context, other scriptures also are divine revelations. But we'll see that topic in the last class. If God is one, why there are so many religions and why there are so many scriptures? That we'll handle separately.
There's one line you said, sir. When the human beings die, they take a form and you become a next form and you become another human being. And then there was a quick line you made, or you become an animal.
In human life, if you take to Adhato Brahma Jidnyasa, inquiry into absolute, you are elevated. Either in human body, you get better facilities in the next life, you get higher planetary bodies, superior human beings' bodies, or you go transcend this creation and go out of this material world to the kingdom of God, depending on how much you made advancement in spiritual culture. And if you didn't do that, then by default, you will be given a body according to your desires and activities in the human life. So somebody had too much mating desire, eating desire, whatever, then accordingly you get a species. That's what I was saying. Hare Krishna.
Next exam is
So, point is, life is a preparation and death is an examination. And it's always a surprise test. Quality of your desires and your activities that you cultivated throughout this life form the sum total of your consciousness at the moment of death. Depending on that consciousness, you get another body. If you made your consciousness better, you get the better body. If you made your consciousness bad, polluted, worse body. That's how nature functions. And that is evolution. According to Vedas, there is evolution, but this is how it happens. Either you evolve or devolve. So what we are doing with our so-called knowledge is that we are not using it for its full potential. Even science and technology, how much of it are we really using for good purpose? To elevate consciousness of ours and others. We are basically degrading ourselves more and more. So what is happening is not human evolution, human evolution. Over a period of time. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. See you next time.